It's Prism Basketball Release Week, plus the start of the baseball season. How might all of that play into this week's Top 5 Cards?
My name is Geoff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Sports card investors, and welcome to a great week for the hobby. We've got so many good things happening this week. We've got Prism Basketball coming out. I am so excited to break Prism Basketball and see what that product looks like this year, what cards we can pull out of a hobby box. And in fact, we are going to be breaking one of the first hobby boxes here on this channel. You're going to want to see it. We're going to be one of the very first to bring it to you. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon if you haven't already, because you're going to get notified any minute now of this box break that we're about to do of Prism Basketball. We're excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's also the start of the baseball season. Baseball is truly just a couple of days away. Hopefully we're going to have a full season this year. That's going to be great for the baseball card market. And by the way, we just put out an awesome video on our sister YouTube channel. We now have a Market Movers YouTube channel. You really need to subscribe if you haven't already to the YouTube channel, the Market Movers YouTube channel. The link is below this show. And we just put out a video there called Baseball Cards You Should Invest In before the start of the 2021 season. A very analytical breakdown using tons of data from market movers to show you baseball card investing opportunities. So go check that video out and subscribe to the Market Movers channel. Another big thing that is happening this week, I know a lot of you have been sitting on the waiting list to get into Dibs. And if you don't know what Dibs is, you need to know what Dibs is. We did a video about Dibs a few weeks ago. Go sign up for the waitlist if you haven't already, because I'm about to tell you some big news, all right? Go to sportscardinvestor.com, scroll down below the trending cards area, and put in your email address. You want to get on this waitlist for Dibs and the special offer you will receive by using referral code SCI Special. And here's why. Because our friends at Dibs say that by this weekend, they are going to try to take everybody remaining on our special sports card investor waitlist and give them access to Dibs. So if you do not yet have access, get on that waitlist. You will have access in the next few days, most likely. Again, go to sportscardinvestor.com, put your email address in right below trending cards. Lots of stuff going on this week, lots to be excited about, lots to be thankful for. I'm also excited about this week's top 5 cards. Let's jump right in. Starting in our number 5 position today, we're going with a baseball player and a World Series champion, part of that great 2019 Washington Nationals World Series club, Anthony Rendon. But of course, Rendon is no longer with the Nationals. He went to the Los Angeles Angels before the start of last season. Had an okay season last year, batted .286, 9 home runs in 52 games. For a lot of players, that would be considered great. For Rendon, it wasn't perhaps the record-setting numbers that people had seen from him in years past. But of course, he had just moved to a new city, a new ball club during the time of COVID. So we got to give him a little bit of a break. Baseball card investors are starting to get really excited about what the Angels could do this year and what Rendon can do this year. And of course, the Angels, they seem to really have a stacked lineup now, don't they? They keep adding pieces. Of course, they've got a great manager as well. It feels like maybe this is the year that the Angels finally break through. Of course, I've thought that in years past as well. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but maybe it will this year. And if it does, it's going to be good for Anthony Rendon's card prices, and that's probably why baseball card investors are out buying his cards right now. And you can see here on the screen, his cards have been going up. I put on the top line on the screen his 2013 Topps Update card. in PSA 10 condition. And the bottom line on the screen is his Topps Update rookie debut card from that same year. Both of them have been going up quite a bit. A lot more of that Topps Update card exists. That's a population 1,112 card. And that card right now is up 70% from where it was 90 days ago. That card is $127.50. And just 90 days ago, that card was only $75. So a nice little profit for those of you who hold Anthony Rendon cards. All right, we're going to switch over to basketball for our number 4 guy on this week's list. And we're going to go with an exciting player from the 2017 draft class. That was a great draft class. But he's not the first player you think of when you think of 2017. You probably think of Jason Tatum. You probably think of Donovan Mitchell. Yes, maybe you think of my boy Lonzo Ball. And if you don't, maybe you're going to think about him a little more this week. Not going to tell you why. We're just going to leave that there. But let's actually today talk about somebody else from that class. Let's talk about Darren Fox. Because Darren Fox, this guy has been putting up some incredible numbers. Now, you might not know this because you might not watch much Sacramento Kings basketball. And that's the problem Darren Fox has. Small market, not a very good team, hardly ever on TV. People don't get a chance to watch him very often, but they should, because he's putting up numbers. Last week, he had a 44-point game. That was the best game of his career. But even more impressively, perhaps, that 44-point game came right after a 36-point game, and then he followed it up with a 37-point game. So he's been on an absolute tear. His cards are starting to show a little bit of upwards movement. And let's see, I brought up here on the screen his 2017 Optic Holo card in PSA 10 and his 2017 Prism Silver card in PSA 10. Both trend lines are pointing up and to the right. The Optic Holo in particular just had a really big sale the other day, sold for $499, which is a 57% increase from where it had sold just a few weeks prior. So both of these cards are starting to heat up. It's going to be interesting to see what Darren Fox's cards continue to do if he's able to keep putting up numbers like he has. Sticking with basketball for the number 3 spot on this week's list, possibly the best dunker in the NBA, but he actually has no slam dunk titles to show for it. He was kind of gypped out of the slam dunk title last year. He's come runner up a couple of times in the slam dunk contest, but he wants to be known for more than just being a high-flying dunker. And now Aaron Gordon is going to have a new shot. He is a hyper-athletic forward. He's a very popular player, but he's stuck down in Orlando, and Orlando has just not been a good team for a long time. They've only had one winning season since they drafted Gordon all the way back in 2014 with a 4th overall pick. So he hasn't gotten a lot of exposure down there, hasn't had a lot of help or support around him. But now he moves to Denver. He was just traded right before the trade deadline. And now he's with a team that, of course, has much greater playoff potential and has bigger stars around him. Now, that's going to be interesting because Gordon is no longer the biggest star on the team. Obviously, you've got some big name players in Denver. You've got a team that made a push in the playoffs last year, has the potential, actually the last couple of years, they made a real push in the playoffs. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in there. But basketball card investors are optimistic that this is going to help revitalize Aaron Gordon's career, and his cards are going up. And right here on the screen, I brought up his 2014 Prism Base rookie card in raw condition. You can see how this card has shot up just in the last couple of days. His cards are fairly low pop. I didn't bring up, we've got, the different graded cards in Market Movers as well, but I didn't bring them up here because they're actually pretty rare. Not a lot of people have graded Aaron Gordon cards. So the raw card shows a little bit more of the recent trend line, and you can see the last few days, people have been hopping on his card. It's actually up 110% over the course of the last 30 days. And of course, that is fueled not just by the trade, but also some of the speculation leading up to the trade deadline that he could be one of the guys to get traded. So his card has been trending up for some time. It'd be great to see what he and the Nuggets can do together this year. Number 2 on this week's list, going back to baseball for a young star who could be this year's Rookie of the Year, Bobby Dalbec of the Boston Red Sox. He was called up late last season for the Red Sox, called up in August, and he brought some power to the Red Sox. He hit a home run in his first major league game. He went on and hit 8 home runs over the last 23 games of the season when he got to play. And then he entered this year's spring training with every bit as much momentum. He's currently in the top 3 of all of spring training in home runs, RBIs, and runs scored. So people are excited about Bobby Dalbec. They will certainly be chasing all of his cards in the 2021 Topps releases, because all of 2021's Topps will have his rookie cards. So that is going to get people excited this year. But people are also excited about chasing some of his past cards, such as his 2016 Bowman Chrome cards, because that is when he was first in the Bowman product, actually in Bowman Chrome draft from 2016. And I brought 3 of those cards up on the screen here that we're tracking in Market Movers. These are all in raw condition. You can see his 2016 Bowman Chrome draft card, base card in raw, and then the refractor in raw there. And then up top is the rookie auto in raw. All have very nice trend lines, and you can really tell the story of those trend lines if I switch to look by price changes by percentage, because then you can see how much all of these have truly gone up. And this is just the last 30 days. So we're just going back 30 days ago, and over the last 30 days, you can see that his auto card is up 85%. His draft base raw card is up 118%. And his refractor card in raw condition is up 145%. So all of his cards are shooting through the roof. These are cards that you could have gotten in on very inexpensively just a few weeks ago. Now they're going to set you back a little bit more money, as everybody is chasing Bobby Dalbec heading into this season. The number 1 guy on this week's list, someone who certainly knows how to put the smack down on his opponents, and he did it this weekend at UFC 260, Francis Ngannou. This guy was crazy over the weekend, beating a great UFC fighter, one of the greatest UFC fighters, Stipe Miocic. But man, Ngannou, he took him down. It was, of course, the highly anticipated rematch. The first time around, it was Miocic who won the fight, out wrestling Ngannou for the win. But not so much this time. This time, Ngannou came out ready, and he is known as one of the hardest punchers in the UFC. He landed big blows this weekend, ended up knocking out the champ in the second round. Now, Ngannou has got a really interesting background. He grew up in Africa in poverty-like conditions. He then moved to Paris, where he really wanted to get into originally boxing and then MMA. He was actually even homeless at times when he was training to get into MMA, but he has certainly broken through in a big way now, and his goal is to be a role model for kids in Africa and inspire them to chase their dreams. What an awesome guy. And of course, people who buy UFC cards, they are all over Ngannou's cards right now, and you can see on your screen how the price of these cards has just gone crazy, especially in recent days. I brought up his 2017 Topps Chrome UFC base card, as well as his 2017 Topps Chrome UFC Diamond Hotbox card. Look at that incredible, goodness gracious, look at that sale of that card. And then his 2017 Topps Chrome UFC Refractor card. If we look at all of these cards by change percentage, you can see that these things are jumping up like wildfire. Look at this, that Hotbox card, and granted that was a crazy sale, but that is up 1,760% over the last 90 days, 1,760%. His base raw card is up 582%. His refractor raw card is up 210%. And just to give you the illustration of how much these cards have gone up and how you could have gotten into these cards for so little, yet made so much. Now, if you were on this guy early, the raw version of this card was selling for $11 back in the beginning of January. The most recent sales on that card are now averaging $81. The Hotbox Refractor card, one of those sold for $24.99 back in the middle of January. The most recent sale of that card, $400 $165. So for all of you out there who say that the hobby has gotten too expensive and no one can get into sports cards anymore because they can't afford it, you could have been picking up this guy's cards for between $10 and $25 back in January. And if you had done so, you're going to be rolling in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of cash today. That is how quickly things can change in the hobby. You just got to look for what the next opportunity is. What is the next opportunity around the corner? And this past week, it was apparently Ngannou's UFC cards. He is number one on this week's list. All right, everybody, don't forget, sign up for Dibs email list so we can get you access later this week. Go to sportscardinvestor.com, scroll below trending cards, and put in your email address if you haven't already to sign up for that. Go check out that Market Movers YouTube channel and that latest video that we just put out on that channel talking about the best baseball cards to invest in before the start of the 2021 season. I promise you're going to love the video, full of statistics, full of analytics, full of really good stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the video today. I'm excited to see you back in a couple of days. We got a little something for you. That's all I'm going to say. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.